So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K. I am sitting here with Donovan, the IE informer. Normally, he's known as the recovering Democrat. He wears so many hats. So anyway, y'all know him as Donovan. So again, this is the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also like to say big giant thank you to Donovan for sitting here, co-host with me, and hello and welcome to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants, because we do read your comments, questions, and concerns as well. Also like to say big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go further. And so today, I'm actually going to piggyback off of that of Brother Phil. I saw that he did a video about allegedly Black men are celebrating or gloating about Black women being the most homeless demographic in the United States. And so we're going to examine if that is true. And whatever else y'all want to talk about, because we are here for 2 hours. And so, Donovan, what say you?
Hey, I want to welcome you guys to the Demetra K Show. Glad to have you guys here. I know it's football season. A lot of you guys are trying to watch the show and watch football at the same time, which is a great thing. But before I get into it, I just want to say this. How about those Cowboys? Cowboys did it again, So yes, I got to say that for my Cowboy folks out there. But no, do us a favor. Please like, share, and subscribe, and become a member if you would like to get these great videos that Demetra puts out. Share it on your platform so we can beat the algorithm, because a lot of people are being desubscribed. So make sure, if you're not getting notifications of Demetra's videos and postings, please check. Most likely YouTube desubscribed you, because the elections are coming up. The Democrats are pulling out all of the punches in regards to guilting you to voting for these badass candidates that ain't offering you a damn thing. So this is a very important topic. And me and Demetra were talking about it just before we went on air. I just like to say, if this topic is true, and I think it is true, because I even did a little segment on it in regards to women being the most evicted, stuff like that. I wasn't gloating. And the reason why I think that is so important, because not only is that something that men should not be gloating about, we should be ashamed that our women are put in a position with our children to be evicted from their homes.
Absolutely. So I was just saying hello to everybody who came on here. Let's see who else. Tawana, how you doing? And thank you so much for your donation. I did get that the other day. Thank you. And Sunlight, I don't see her on here, but thank you as well. Let's see here. That guy from Texas, how you doing? Brother Reggie said, damn the Cowboys. Lenora, how you doing? You said this is Tisha K. How you doing? And let's see here. Who came on here? Andrew Sarian, how you doing? He says, I hope that brothers are not boasting about sisters struggling. I hope not. Well, we gonna find out. And Rain says, do these women have children? Some of them do. And thank you, Brother Marcus. If you guys are on Facebook and you see this, you want me to comment or read your comment, click on the link, and I would love to do so. All right. And so again, as I said, I saw Brother Phil had covered this. I watched a little bit of it. I was, kind of in a hurry. I was like, let me go get dressed and get ready for the show. But I noticed that he did put up a video of a woman. I'm actually going to show it with you, the video that he was actually examining of, a woman saying that the brothers are gloating about it. And so let me see before I put it up. Mr. D. Rob, you say, why should we be ashamed? I'm not 6 foot tall, but my wife isn't going to be homeless. All right now, Angelina. It says, in my city, I see a lot of Black homeless men. It's sad to see anyone hurting. Yes, it is. And Doja Cat, how you doing? It says, a lot of them think it's funny, so sad. And Rain says, where's the fathers of these homeless children? And John Marcia, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Thank you so much. And Angela, how you doing? It says, I have missed y'all. I was hospitalized twice in 2 weeks, but I'm back. And as always, we'll enjoy your show. Oh, I hope you're doing much better. Sorry to hear that you were hospitalized. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate the comments. So let's put up the first video of what actually Brother Phil was talking about. So here we go.
Real question. Why are Black men gloating about the statistics that shows that Black women are the most evicted in America? You see, that shows me that no matter what, y'all will never ever look at your fucking selves. And it's sad. It is fucking sad. And if black women don't see this as a reason to leave y'all alone for good, I don't know what will ever cause black women to just leave y'all the fuck alone. Because instead of saying, black men, we got to do better. The mothers of our children are suffering. Our children and their mothers are becoming homeless because we are not measuring up. We are not adding up. We are not doing anything for them. We are useless. We are worthless. We are of no good to our women and children, because why are our women and children becoming homeless? Y'all bragging about it. Oh, my children are homeless. Oh my God. See, I'm doing better than... Instead of, checking each other, telling each other to do better, y'all are out here bragging that the mothers of y'all children are fucking homeless, because these women that's homeless have children for black men. But guess what? Y'all happy because the black woman is the only woman that is the only person on earth that the black man can compete with. Admit it. Like, you are a man and you are not eligible to compete with other men because you are just the fucking bottom of the barrel. Just like Superhead said, the rat-infested streets of New York. A fucking rat carrying a slice of pizza. You only know how to compete with black women. You can't compete with women of other races. Make it make sense. I'm sorry. Like, where the fuck they do that at? Y'all is a lost cause. Lost cause it is. Go tell it on the mountain. I said.
You all right?
I can't listen to that bullshit no more.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
wait.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Okay, so let me go to another video.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff we talked about, this is what's gonna make you tap out, brother.
No, I'm not tapping out. What I'm saying is I can't subject myself to the bullshit.
Hold it. Hold your horses. Okay, so I know she said a lot, and I'm gonna say I wholeheartedly do not agree with her stance or talking points at all.
The woman's listening to Superhead. She's listening to Superhead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. She quoted Superhead, so that's kind of problematic. You know what I mean? It's like, after Superhead then had her feel of almost every black man, and well, not every, but most celebrities anyway. She didn't let them, take her here, take her there. Now she got something to say. So, okay. So I was like, well, let me go and see where these black men are gloating about black women being the most evicted now. It's on the uptick, right? Most evicted in the United States. And so I went on TikTok, because I guess that's usually where the place, it's easier to find videos. So I found this. Let me see here. All right, I'll put this at this. All right.
To become a crisis, and black women are being affected the most by it, according to...
Well, I hope you realize education do not equate to high income. Because according to you guys, you are the most educated. But according to these stats, you are the most evicted. And just some food for thought. If you had a man in the house paying 50% of the bills, the odds are you still be in it. So 50-50 probably is not that bad after all. Just think about it.
All right. So, as y'all saw there, and admittedly, I didn't look for hours. I looked for maybe like a half an hour or so, and that's kind of the only one that I came up with. But I don't think he was being negative. I think he was kind of stating the obvious there, that is basically it's easier for two to go farther than it is to go one. Now, of course, this is not the first time that we've talked about the unhoused, because I guess that's the term people are trying to go with. Not the first time we talked about it. We know that black people in general are the most homeless population in the United States. We're 13% of the population, with roughly about 40% of the homeless, population. Of course, we know unemployment or underemployment it helps in that. Mental illness, poverty, drug abuse, and some other things in between. Now, I have heard, and Donovan is one of them, but I have not heard him gloat about black women. And I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all can't see me, if I'm freezing up a little bit, but I think you can hear me. It's just the internet. It sucks around here sometimes. But I've heard Donovan talk about black women being among the most homeless, but I've only really heard Donovan talk about it really as a warning, not like, ha ha, you wenches, you're going to be homeless. So I never got that from Donovan. But I think at this point, it is a fact that Black women are amongst the most homeless population. It is said that Black women actually work the most amongst women, but are, typically underpaid, making 63 cents on the dollar to that of white men. And obviously, y'all know, being a single mom does play into that. Black women are the most, as far as single moms go, it's numbers don't lie. I guess they can be fudged, but for the most part, it says that Black women are the most as far as single women. So that plays a role into it as well. And from what I understand, 1 in 4 Black women will face some sort of housing deficiency now and in the future due to a whole lot of things. It also says, the pandemic played in Black women being unemployed to the tune of almost 11%. So there's a lot of things going into that. But I'd like to finish off with what the guy said, and forgive me, I forget it. Tone, I think his name is. He says, if you had a man in the house, then you'd be paying 50% and, lightening the load, if you will. And so, Donovan, I know you were a little bit upset about hearing that woman. Clearly, she's got some issues. Maybe she's got some personal issues. I don't know. But I know you're upset about that. So what's your take? And then I'm going to get to you guys' comments.
Well, I'm not, what is it? I'm upset, but it ain't they upset like, oh God, let me go cry in the corner like that. There were so many things wrong with what this woman was saying. Number one, she's a woman with an accent. Okay. So I'm going to assume, and I am going to assume she's not originally from this country. Okay. And she has the nerve to talk about Black men, American Black men, blah, 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 blah. Right. This, that, this, but yet she's in this country, and she's going to do her thing. Then she quoted Superhead. If you're talking about delusion, if you're listening to people like Superhead, who can't keep a man with all the skills that woman has sexually, that goes to show you could be the most sexual vixen out here with the best nana, Foxy Brown, ill nana out here, and you still can't keep a man. You still can't do it. Again, my thing is this. Why is it that when everything goes wrong in this country or with our Black women, you blame it on the Black man? Is it the Black man out here saying Black men ain't shit, be strong and independent? Do you see Black men saying that? We're not saying that. Is it Black men that is picking the Ray-Rays and the Pookies? No, Black men aren't doing that. You women are making that decision, because if you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it is the women that control sex. Thus, they control who they have children with. In most cases, I know there's some other things that go on beyond their control. We're not talking about that. And Demetra will attest to you. Okay, when my youngest son's mom, well, both of my kids' mom, both of them were working. We had children. The relationship did not work out. Demetra, how much was I paying in child support?
$1,600.
$1,600. So you mean to tell me, as a Black man that ain't shit, I'm paying $1,600, have no rights to make a decision on what goes on in that household because, they wanted to be strong and independent and all that other stuff, right? All of a sudden, when it doesn't work out, that's my fault, and I'm paying $1,600 a month? Now, would I let my kids go out there and be homeless? Absolutely not. The tides are turning where the courts are now saying that it is better for children to be raised with the father. And statistics have shown that a child that is being raised by the father is just as balanced as if they had the mother and the father together, in that relationship. So these women that are angry like that, I mean, listen to how that woman, her vitriol was. How do you expect me as a Black man to listen to that when you're coming off like that? There's no way in hell would I listen to a woman that doesn't know what she's talking about. And you're quoting Superhead, Megan Thee Stallion, all these entertainers and these people that don't really, they're not even real, they're cartoon characters. So, I mean, ladies, you guys are the ones that want to go be strong and independent. We've been saying for months, if not years, 1 + 1 = 2. But now they have made it to where you guys are now vulnerable. And just like I said at the beginning of the show, it is an indictment of us as men to see our women in that predicament and not try to do something about it. I can't make you come live with me. I can't make you go do this. I can't make you go do that. But to sit here and blame everything on the black man for a decision you ladies have made for yourselves, I think that's the wrong thing.
Yeah, you said a mouthful. So obviously, there's a lot that's going to go into this conversation. And I see everybody has a lot to say about it. Yes, indeed. The woman that I played, she was very incendiary in her attitude and her language. I would say, I don't know the lady, but just kind of from listening to her, it sounds like she was a little jilted for whatever reason. She quoted New York. So I don't know if she's, moved over to New York or whatever the deal is. But yeah, so she, she probably needs to go talk to somebody. And Angelina, you say it affects us all, not just women. That is very true. Black people in general are the most homeless. And Marsha, I hope I said that right, Jamarsha. He says, that is sad, 40% homelessness. Yes, indeed. And Rain says, jealous and effeminate. I had my own apartment since I was 18 years old. He was gloating. So you think the guy that I showed that he was gloating? Okay. Me personally, I didn't see it that way. I saw that he was, basically giving a solution. If you live with your man, then it's 50% and, that'll dwindle down the homeless situation. I think that's where he was going from what I can see. And CC says rent is more than the majority of income. Yeah, and that's true for everywhere, especially if you're in California. In some places, it's more than 50% of your income. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. And Thunder says, this is why we should strive for marriage and families. I totally agree. We need to get back to that, the old school. Mr. Pirate Brain says they don't want to talk about black men left homeless after being divorced, raped. Okay, so that is true. Black men are also amongst the most homeless as well. In fact, I think it's still kind of that way, but black women are, quickly approaching the fastest demographic. So right now it's still black men, from what I understand. I could be wrong. CC says, don't be a pick-me. And who is that? And Williams, how you doing? He says, where is the accountability with these women when they make mistakes? I don't see it nowhere, only blaming others for their actions instead of accountability. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we're all accountable for ourselves. But Donovan will tell you this. I always say this, especially in regards to single mamas. What do I say, Donovan? What do I always say about single black or single mamas in general? What do I always say?
Where are the daddies?
Exactly. There cannot be a single mama without an absentee daddy. For whatever reason why he's absent, he is not in the picture. So you can't have one without the other. But I agree, we should all be accountable for the things that we do. And Jamarsha says we need to connect. Okay, and Doja Cat, he says, no, they are throwing up being independent, and I don't need a man. Why can't the black community help these women? Well, I would say too, that's not all black women. Because I think what we're saying too is that's all black women who are facing homelessness or all black women who are having a hard time. That's not all black women who want to be by herself. There's a lot of black women who I would like to be with a man, but for whatever reason, I'm not. All black women aren't saying, I'm independent, I'm strong, I don't need that. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. Just like it's not all, black men who are saying, I don't want to be with black women. So on this show, we don't deal in absolutes because we understand that there are different variables to things. So I hope that helps moving forward. And D'Angel, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says marriage and families is not the end all be all. For some, it's not, but I feel like if you are creating life with somebody, then you should entertain making the family whole, because otherwise you just contribute to, whether you're the woman or the man, you contribute to having partial families out there and children being raised without the benefit of both parents being in a household. So I don't know. And Joanne, how you doing? It says because her man has been compromised and they blame the woman. Okay. And Rain says he mentioned most educated. So is he envious and gloating? Got it. Well, I think it is known that Black women are the most educated. In the last couple of years, that is as far as Black women having the most degrees. But as I said a minute ago, it is said that Black women on average earn 63% of what white men earn. And I think for white women, it's like 71% or something like that. So 63% on the dollar compared to everybody else is, almost half. So.
Well, and I also think that what he was saying in there, if you guys have been keeping up on the statistics of education, how much education costs, another problem that's helping women drive into the homelessness situation that I've been talking about for over a year is the fact that they have debt, student loan debt. So that's not helping them do that. Joe Biden, with Black women overwhelmingly, as well as Black men, voted for Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, to do away with student debt. That would help a lot of these single mothers in our communities significantly. I don't know how many of you guys heard that Joe Biden and the education department is now reneging on some of that student, that even the little $10,000, he's making a bunch of people ineligible that won't even get that. But that is what I think he was talking about when it comes to the education. A lot of our sisters have taken out all of this debt in regards to their education, which is not helping them in regards to paying their rent. How the hell are you going to pay rent that went up 30% just last year, and you still got that student loan that you got to pay of maybe $400, $600 a month?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but to get an education, unless you come with a silver spoon in your mouth, you're going to have to take out some loans. And whose fault is it that the educational system is so expensive? Like, I went to school in the 90s, graduated in 1989. It was $3.
You told me you graduated in 1999.
I forget.
Okay.
But I think the per unit was like $3 per unit. I don't even know what it is now. So education is stupendous in regards to how much it costs to go to school. And so in a lot of cases, you have to go get an education in order to promote up. Because I remember when I was going to school, I went to school with a lot of people. Like, I've been working at the county for 20 years, but in order for me to promote up, I got to go get, a degree. So they started bringing these degrees in to try to qualify people. But back in the day, it was like you walk onto the job. My good friend, she had to go get student loan debt in order to promote up at the county job that she had been with almost 20 years. She had to go get a degree in order to do better at that job.
And guess who's changing these rules and the laws and all this other stuff? Our parents' generation. Instead of lifting us up and letting us, do what they did to get on the job, no, they want you to have a college degree. But here's another thing that we got to think about as well, too. Yes, why not have jobs out there for people who are graduating and make the jobs susceptible to where let's face it, the pay hasn't really moved in 40 years. So people got all these degrees, but there's no jobs comparable to the degree so that they would be able to pay for them.
Yeah, I get it. I think that's most degrees now. Most people will tell you they got a degree that's not paying them what they should be getting, for that particular job. I think that's true everywhere. Cost of inflation, the wages are not kept up with the cost of inflation. I saw somebody say the rent is too damn high. Y'all remember that party? The guy in New York, he was running for, I think it was mayor, and he was representing the rent is too high, damn high party. So yeah, rent is high everywhere. So, and it's going up. So, but I think people got degrees hoping that it would improve their life. So it just hasn't. The degrees have not kept maintained with inflation, and inflation is at an all-time high. So, hello, Janelle, how you doing? And Herbert, how you doing? Good vibes, yes, indeed. All right, so let me get to these comments. Let's see here. Black Queen Genius 7, how you doing? It says, in DC, all you see is Black men with white and Hispanic women, and Black women are single. We're going to get into that just a little bit because, of course, y'all know y'all been following a lot of the stuff on the internet with, Black men saying they want to go elsewhere and Black women saying they want to go elsewhere. I'm one of those people that say that Black men and women are better together. That's just my opinion. I can't make y'all love it, but I think that Black men and women are better together. Let's see here. Doja, you says, what are Black men building for the Black community? Donovan, I want somebody throw that in the chat as I get through these comments a little bit. And I'm going to skip down to somebody I have not seen. Janelle, you wilding over there on Facebook. Oh my gosh. Robin, you say some black women must told Donovan that he ain't shit because he manages to say those words in almost every broadcast. I'm gonna let you get to that in the comment section. So
yeah. Go ahead.
And Craig, how you doing? Since I seen that video and she blamed black men for everything, and when she brought up Superhead, I stopped listening to her. Yeah, it's like, surely you aren't quoting Superhead. I mean, she has been in a lot of people's beds, to say the least. A lot of people are men that she was not with, just men that maybe gave her, some steak and lobster, I guess. I don't know. Hazel, how you doing? Says it's not only Ray and Pookie, not all Black women want to be strong and independent. I'm glad you said. I should have read that comment. That is not true for all Black women. Super Patriot says they are here to entertain us. I don't follow them. Okay. And Thundy says with two is easier. And I know one. No one wants to hear this, but it would help to live below your means. Your life will not be Instagram worthy, but it will be sustainable. That is very true. Especially nowadays, we do have to live below our means because everything is just so sky high. And Angela, you says this is by design. Yes, it is. And Rain says I could never have a man raise my children without me being there also. You know, I always say there's a difference between a single mama and a single woman. I was a single woman with a child. Her father was there, got on my nerves, but he was there. So I can't say that I was a single mom and where I just did it all by myself. He was there, you know, he took her when it was his time to take her and all of that. So there was a difference between being a single mama and a single woman. So some people will probably say not really, but I just kind of see it that way. And Super Patriot says they're literally cartoons, okay? And Janelle says those women need to get 2 jobs. Yeah, and well, 1 job and a man would help too. And Aaron says unity and unite any means necessary. Yes, I see you keep putting that in there. I love it. All right. And so Michael says, Donovan and Demetra, do you think that the gender pay gap is related to Black women? It absolutely is related to Black women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, Black women are single to the tune of 70-something%. A lot of those Black women have a home to raise and take care of. And so if she's only getting 63 cents to the dollar of that of white men, yeah, that definitely plays a big role in her being able to maintain a household with children, especially by herself. Unless she just has an awesome, great, job, which is rare. Because I think they say what Black women make on average about 35,000, 40,000, give or take. So I don't know. Your equal, I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And you say no doubt. And Mr. D. Robbie says a lot of these women had ridiculous requirements like the 3 6s, oh my gosh, etc. But now that eviction comes, an average guy is good enough. See, I would even beg to differ with the term a lot. I don't know a lot of women that say, oh, he's got to be 6 feet. And what is the other 6 figures? And I don't know, all 6 of his teeth. What's the other 6? I don't I don't know women like that. I know women.
The other one has to do with his genitalia.
That's all. I'm just playing. But listen, I know a lot of women who are just like, as long as he can take care of himself and that I don't have to take care of him. You know what I mean? Like he's sustained. He's got his job. He can do for himself. And then we can put what we got together and then we can do great things. That's the women I roll with. They're like, just come with that, brother.
Right. Well, and then what about these women like this? How about this, ladies? For those of you guys that get with another man, you have children for the other man. Why don't you make the other man do his part of the responsibility so that it's easier for everybody in the household? I mean, how do you make one guy do one thing and let the other guy do absolutely nothing?
Absolutely. And Ruth, you said there are a lot of fathers who, and how you doing, by the way? You say there are a lot of fathers who are better fit than the mother as the main parent, which is true. I am blessed to have had both growing up, and same here. And I totally agree with you. Just because it's the mom, and I kind of am, seeing that in not my personal life, but somebody I know who is probably a better father than the mom is a better mom, and that's true in a lot of cases. Just because the mom had the child, don't mean that she is the better parent. So I never fall into that trope. And Anthony, how you doing? You say, oh, it's not funny. Black men been in the streets since y'all started getting public assistance. Did y'all care then? Still nobody deserved to be homeless. Well, and I also saw somebody else mention public assistance in that Black women took a welfare check. And I always push back on this. And this is how I'm going to push back on this. Do y'all know of any black woman who would say to her man, now to check it out, I want y'all to pay full attention, think logically, say to her man that is earning a decent living, I'm not even saying he got to be six figures, but a decent living, let's say this, he's earning more than she's getting in welfare. What woman in her right mind would say, man, I know you making enough money to take care of us, and in fact, I'm a struggle on welfare? Because I think most people who would say they're getting welfare, you know, they're not doing fabulous. What woman would throw a man out the house who's making money?
The woman that was on the video that you showed us with that kind of mentality.
But we're talking about money. Even she got enough sense to know that if I'm not going to choose no funky welfare check over a man who's making money.
Like I said, the woman on the video that you showed us, because when she quoted, wait, I know what you're saying, but think about it. She quoted Superhead. It's women like that just, you know, go with the sound bite, and they have no facts backing them up. None of that. Here's a woman from another country talking about what black women need to do with their black men and all this stuff. It's women like that would do that.
So I get you, but that's not all black women. All black.
It's not all black women.
Right. So I'm not. Well, we'll include her, but I'm asking, how many of y'all know a black woman that would rather have a welfare check where you got to go certify? And, you know, you got to barely make it to get, I don't even know how much you're paying in welfare benefits, but I'm sure it's not enough. And, you know, especially like some of these housing units is horrible. What woman in her right mind going to get rid of a fully functioning working man to take a check? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm saying to the tune of we chose a check over a man, because I hear that narrative a lot. And Janelle, you says, stop getting pregnant before getting married. Yep, that is all too simple. And I'm not going to sit up here and act judgmental, because I got pregnant before I was married with my daughter's father. We stayed together a year and a half, didn't work out ever since that point. Hence is why I only have one child that'll be 30 soon. Craig says, and I'm loving the hair. Salute to you and the brother. Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. And Bahat said, there are your kids, so it's not impressive that you take care of them financially. You control your kids in your household. Absolutely. It's not impressive. You're supposed to take care of your kids. It's not like you don't get a pat. Good job. I mean, yeah, it helps every once in a while, but it's kind of a given. And Cece says, keep it 100D, okay? And that guy from Texas, you say she must be a former client of that now fired therapist. So I think I know what a therapist you're talking about.
Yeah, the therapist that was like, black men ain't this, and you know, y'all ain't doing. Yeah, she's a therapist, right?
I have my opinion on her. I'm not gonna give it today because you know we don't have time for that. But I know who y'all talking about. And Michael said, Demetra and Donovan, how about your brothers and sisters moving to South Africa, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, etc.? Well, some of them are, some of them don't want to go, but of course we always have that conversation. And Janelle, you make a very good point on Facebook. It says, stop getting pregnant when you are broke. Yeah, you know, that feel good, that 2 minute feel good ain't worth the lifetime of having to take care. It's expensive to take care of a child. And I'm not talking about just barely taking care of it. Like if you really want to do right by that child, make sure they're educated, they're fed, they're housed in, you know, decent neighborhood, they're clothed and have the basics even. Then what is it like? They say 30, 40, even what, $80,000, $100,000. They probably have even more than that.
They say to raise a child from the time it's born till the time it is 18 years old, you are going to spend an average of $320,000. One child.
And shoot, and more in some cases, you know. So absolutely good point. Aaron says, yep, Callie, more than 50% of your income. Yes, indeed. So I see I'm a little bit behind. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and catch up. Jay, how you doing? He says, if it were the other way around, the woman would be laughing, sad but true. I hope that no black woman is around here laughing at any black man that is homeless. And I'll tell you, anybody who know me, I don't like to talk about it, but whenever I see our people homeless on the street, if they ask me for something I could do something for, I do it without a hesitation, whether it's go buy them some food, give them money, whatever it is. And usually it's black men. I haven't come across a black woman, a few black women that I've helped, but mostly it's been black men. So I just want to put that out there. Ashanda, you say, and welcome and thank you so much for being here. He says, are black women being evicted for unpaid rent or unjust rental practices post-COVID? So that's another factor as well. Of course, you have a lot of landlords who are evicting people. Then, of course, during the pandemic, a lot of people couldn't or didn't pay their rent. And so you got a lot of people who are being evicted. Then, of course, in a lot of cases, got a lot of landlords is like, shit, girl, you paying $800 a month. If I put you up out of here, I could get, triple that. So there's a lot of that going on. And then if somebody is getting put out of their apartment or house due to a landlord knowing they can get more money, then where is that person going to go? Because the next place they go, they're going to want, 3 times the rent and income. And, the rent is probably going to be triple of what they were paying where they were. So that's a very good point, actually.
And real quick, for those of you guys that don't know, they're saying that 60% of all landlords that did not get paid their money were Black landlords that just had maybe like one rental property or something like that, that put them in a financial strait as well. So unfortunately, in our community, we take advantage of our own, as a term that I used a couple of years ago called roaching. You figure, well, I don't have to pay you whatever, but you don't realize that landlord, that Black landlord that lets you live there, they were probably mortgaging that to pay other things, and you didn't pay them for the whole year. And now these people are in a lurch. 60% of all landlords that are now in foreclosure and stuff like that were Black. So we kind of hurt our own people in regards to ownership when it comes to the housing market. A lot of people don't know that.
Hello, Monet. You are right on time. All right, so let me get down to it. And Amina, how you doing? Says Donovan was so right about college and loans. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's expensive to go to college. I mean, I'm 51 years old. It wasn't that when I was, I just graduated high school. It was relatively, it was affordable. You could pay your loans off then, because the jobs that you would get would justify being able to pay off those loans, but not so much anymore. And Mari Williams, how you doing? Says the student loan issue is being litigated by the Republicans. Yes, in 7 states I saw they're trying to say that it is, I guess, unconstitutional or something like that. Doesn't sound like they're going to be very successful and not in fighting the student loans being paid off. It also sounds like the Biden administration is backtracking on, I think it's about 700,000 people who will be kicked out of the forgiveness program. And I didn't read what the qualifications were that they're going to be kicked out of, but it sounds like the Biden administration ain't doing all they said they were going to do either. And Stacey, you saying you remember it was $5 per unit. Yes, indeed. All right. So let me catch up. I am sorry that I am behind. Bobby says education system is whack because big politicians screw us with big business. Yes, indeed. All right. And Jimmy James, how you doing? Says I dated a girl who was a child. Okay, I dated a girl who has. Let me put the has in there. I dated a girl who has a child who can barely read. I was teaching the boy to read. I teach and write and self children's books. He says she chose a thug over me. Yeah, that's low self-esteem and not knowing that she, she didn't feel like she deserved you. So that wasn't nothing about you. That was everything about her. She felt like her worth was with somebody who was, probably not going to treat her right. So spoke volumes about her, but not about you. Let's see here. Stacey says that was in the 80s and early 90s. Units were, $5. Yeah, I remember. And let's see here. Brother Jonell. He said, we don't understand unite, oneness, and majority of us truly are programmed against it. Mentally, when it comes to relating, we at a majority are only programmed to think for the pleasure of chemistry and move in divisive afterwards, especially when the responsibility blooms from our chemistry. There is no independent, as the Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches, any man walking without a woman is handicapped. So we are living the Willie Lynch program more than the bond of self-love as man and woman. Yes. We as Black people need to get rid of that ideology of, well, I don't need a man. I'm going to be single. I don't need a woman. I'd rather just not have a woman because, we are so better together. Think about our parents. Again, I'm 51. So I remember my parents being together. I remember my grandparents being together. I was not raised by a single mom. I was raised in a 2-parent household. So that's the life that I know. Unfortunately, I didn't raise my daughter in a 2-parent household per se. But we are better together. And so I absolutely agree. And Bobby says about trades, skills, and education. Yes. Yes. And Carter G. Woodson was trying to tell us that so many years ago that instead of going out and get the degrees when psychology and stuff, which are cool, but we have forgot about like being a plumber and, mechanic and doing, having cleaners and things like that. And so we need to have those type of things. Super Patriot says literally the most powerful country in the history of the world. And Ashanda, you say, single Black men, question, do you want to marry Black women? or just stay in non-committal situationships? Donovan, go ahead and answer that.
If you're asking me, no. I mean, because again, having single, there's benefits to being married. And that's what a lot of these older generation people do not tell the kids. Because think about it, most of our parents and some of you millennials that have grandparents, they were married. Now, why is it that they were married, but they're telling you to be single? The other groups of women out there are going to college, just like the Black women are. And as they're coming out of college, most of them are getting married and going through the struggle and having their kids at a very young age, and they've already been married. But in our community, we tell our women, you don't need no man right now. Study on your studies and your career. So by the time you do that, these are the exact same things Kevin Samuels was talking about. I'm not saying Kevin Samuels is this great guy and guru, even though rest in peace, you prophets, Kevin Samuels. But a lot of stuff that he said was correct. Your geriatric pregnancy starts at 35. Our Black women are told you can't be married, you can't go to school, you can't do all this stuff at one time. Go to school first, get all this debt, go have your career. Then now it's time to have babies. But guess what? By then, most of the men are already taken, or the men that you would want are already taken. And we've got to stop doing this. Ladies, stop listening to these bitter, mad, older aunts and grandmothers and people who made mistakes and learn from their mistakes. Why would they be telling you that and they ain't got no man? Come on, you guys are smarter than that.
All right, so I'll get to these comments. I won't comment too much just yet. I want to kind of catch up a little bit. And Mr. D. Robbie says that's an untrue talking point. So I don't read the responses just so we can keep up. So let y'all continue to speak with one another. And Mari says, I thought we were the greatest country and richest country. Are you telling me that we can send people to the moon, talk on the phone that has no wires, but can't solve poverty? You're absolutely right. Poverty, I think, because we know who is the most impoverished in this country, and that is us. Poverty is just a slower way of realizing the eugenics program, because when we know there's poverty, there's health disparities, and a whole host of other things, sure, they can solve poverty. I mean, they give billions of dollars away to other countries damn near every day, right? But you got people sleeping on the sidewalks here and standing in line to try to get food and other resources. And so it is by design. If we believe anything else, then we need to go and do our research.
Biden has given the Ukraine over $1 trillion now in military aid and compensation. That's just Ukraine. But we can't solve homelessness in this country, and we can't give student debt, and we can't get universal health care.
Absolutely. I'm just going to skip down to the bottom and get everybody's comment that I didn't see on the way there. And Kara, how you doing? Says, yep, they are for private student loans. You can't get the forgiveness applied to loans that didn't come from the federal government directly. Yes, so I actually did see that, that the private loans, because the private schools can sue and say that's what the Biden administration backed off of that. So that leaves out about 700,000 people with student loan debt, because the private institutions could say, well, and the banks, rather, they're saying it's more the banks that you could be robbing us of our money, and it could cause us to default and go under if that amount of money is taken from us. Basically saying that we can't earn interest on it. So,
yeah. Well, I'm going to call BS on that, because what they can do is just what Donald Trump did and people before him. You give a rebate and you pay the banks the money, the $10,000 that they would have lost. So what would be the difference? Do you see how they keep going around stuff and making you feel like it's this complicated situation? No, you just give them a rebate and say, here's the $10,000 for Demetra K. Here's the $10,000 for Donovan Sadiq. You just give them a rebate and pay it. So they're full of shit, but they want you to vote for them.
Well, yeah, man, we know what it is. We know that, they're all of them are corporatists, and they're all in bed with each other as far as the banks, the politicians, and all of that. And so, that. But the other thing I was thinking about when I read that is they know most people won't get this memo. Because the midterm elections are, next month. So they know a lot of people won't get it. And they'll think, oh, we're getting student loan forgiveness. It's like, well, not so fast. 700,000 of you may not. So they just, people won't get that info. And Jay, he says, just because you're married, don't, and how you doing, by the way? He says, just because you're married, don't mean you stay together. The mother, father were, and he just left and started new families after marriage. What's going to keep men there? Because you can't just because you can't just get divorced. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a person's got to want to stay in a relationship. But I would say, for whatever reason, if you can't work it out with each other, please work it out with your children. Don't leave your children too. Leave this other significant other, whatever, but don't leave children. And that's for men and women, because it's not just men who leave, women leave too. I'm just gonna put that out there. Pioneer says, what women say they want and what most women settle for are two different things. So what they say they want and what they settle for are two different things. Yeah, I would agree with that. And Larry, how you doing, says they say they don't need a man. Not all women say that. Not all black women say that. I don't know. I don't want to lie. I'm trying to think. I don't know personally any women who have said, I don't need a man. Now, I do know women who have said, listen, I've been through a lot of things with men and I'm just going to cool it off. And if I'm single, I'm single. I don't want to go through any more heartbreak, drama, trauma. So I'm just going to cool out for a little while. And, you know, if I get into a relationship, great. If I don't, I guess I'm okay with that too. Now, I do know women who think like that, but I don't know women say, I'm independent, I'm strong, I don't need a man, because I think most women in the right mind know she need a man for something. You got an itch, you want to scratch. I'm just saying. All right, and so Gerard, how you doing? He says it's a situation where reverse. I believe there would be more black women celebrating online. I hope not. I just think that's horrible to celebrate the demise or the misfortune of anybody, because one of my favorite quotes is, there for the grace of God go I, which means that it could be you. So be careful and be grateful that is not you. So, because most people are only a paycheck away from being homeless any damn way. Let's keep it real, right? Black Americans.
Most people, they say the majority of Americans are $400. They can't even come up with $400.
Right.
Sandra Bland couldn't come up with $400.
And Black Americans says probably the women you roll with are older. These younger women don't like men under 6 feet. I mean, it's like, sis, at this point, do you really have a choice? You better find somebody or have somebody find you that's good to you. So what, he ain't 6 feet? There's a whole lot of men at 6 feet who ain't worth. I'm just saying, like, the height of the man does not measure how good he is. Like that's just silly to me. I could go on forever, but I'm not.
Less than 12% of the whole men population are above 6 feet. That shows you how delusional a lot of these women are.
Hello, Aaron. How are you doing? And the Pioneer says, I'm much longer than 6 inches, but I heard that it was average. Laugh out loud. Are they growing them longer now? Has the average changed? I wouldn't know. Y'all wouldn't know. You know, have y'all seen those Western movies where you see the tumbleweed going across the land?
No, I think it's more Charlotte's Web. It's this big spider web.
It's like, hello. Anybody in there? Gotta laugh to keep from crying. Okay, so let's see. Lilia, how are you doing? Says, since the 90s, so-called Black American women with degrees have systematically pushed out the labor market for immigrants, or been pushed out the labor market. Yeah, that is true as well. So there's a lot going on there. Albie, you say it's not about the money. All right, let me go down to the bottom. And I will read anybody that I have not seen so far. Kimberly, how you doing? You said there has been an attack against masculinity for decades that has led to a fatherless America, in my opinion, for Black and white American households. Yeah, that is true. You know, that we've seen it. I mean, you can't watch TV or a commercial or anything like that without seeing something. I saw something not too long ago. I told you I saw The Woman King. I thought The Woman King was a decent movie for a fiction movie, but I just didn't understand the LGBTQ guy that they put there. He had no. It was just like, why is he here? It was just weird, and he was clearly just, you know, as my nephew would say, fashionably involved. Monet says 111 in the chat. Look up the meaning of the number, y'all. Okay. Mr. Pirate Brain says, Demetra, it's not all Black women, but it's too many. We've hit critical mass. It's like saying not all cops are bad, but do you want to take the chance? Yeah, and I would also push back and say the same criticism could be true about women who say all Black men ain't. We know that ain't true. Because first of all, we ain't been with all Black men or all Black women to even make such a judgment. You can only go off of the Black men and women you've been with. And if you are picking all Black men that are bad and all Black women that are bad, and that's really per your opinion, because they might get with somebody else who say, oh, they're the best person in the world. I just, oh, they might love it. So, I mean, unless you can only judge off of the people you've been with, right? So we can't say all, we cannot deal in absolutes or anything close to absolutes, I would say. Thundy says, this is just me, but if we are facing homelessness, I would tell her to go stay with her mom and I'll go offshore to work and start a trucking, but that's just me. I'll be out here as long as they're okay. Yeah. And in some cases, some women ain't even got a mama to go to. She like, shit, I thought I was coming to live with you, you know? And Ashonda, he says, having children is really expensive. You better work hard and live by faith. Yes. That's why I tell people, shit, it look easy. But, you know, when they ask you, mama or daddy, can I? And you're like, ooh, we would like to. But the way the bank account is saying, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Black American says food stamp Section 8, free Medi-Cal and cash. If you have, you lose it. If you have, you lose it all. I mean, yeah, those are commodities that are helpful. But I'm sorry. I haven't talked to anybody that says, ooh, child, I'm just living the life on these good old food stamps and, you know, housing and all of that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know any women who would say that's just the life for me. Because even after having so many children, they stopped giving you benefits. It's not like it was back in the day where it was kind of like you can have children and they would accommodate you financially and all of that for the children you have. But now, for what I understand, there's a cutoff. So I don't know. And if y'all want to just throw this in there, there's some men who are living in those, you know, Section 8 houses and all that with some of those women. Let's not, you know, disinclude them from that. And Ray says, I would never live in Africa. Okay. Let me see. And let me go down to the bottom here. I'm sorry. And tonight, how you doing, girl? And Jessica Jackson, what's going on with you? Who else came in here? Let's see here. And Brother Pioneer says the only reason there are less homeless Black women than Black men is because the society offers more programs to help women and children than single men. That cuts across racial lines. So I would agree with you on that. H. McDaniels, how you doing? It says, Donovan, you also say that it is the woman who chooses the men. Well, you just said that you have 2 baby mamas. Did these women choose you to have children with so that they could be baby mamas?
Absolutely, they sure did. And I was married to my baby mamas. So in my situation, in regards to that, my marriages ended because I had to go fight for the country so they can have the right to choose if they want to stay in a marriage and not stay in a marriage. And unfortunately, you know, being married to a military member isn't for everybody. Demetra can tell you that it's not an easy thing. When we're always talking about support the military, right? Everybody's always talking about support the military, and we should. But what everybody keeps forgetting is the sacrifices the families make in regards to supporting those military people. You can talk to a lot of spouses of military members, and they will tell you the sacrifices that they make. Some of them have to lose good paying jobs just to be with their spouse in another assignment. So my situation, and I'm not saying I'm perfect or whatever, but the point is they made their decision. That's no problem. My thing is, financially, I was there for my children, but for me to pay $1,600, I'm not an NBA basketball player. I'm in the goddamn military.
All right.
But I paid it.
Michael, you say, Demetra, you understand single women raising kids on their own. Donovan, you are strongly against Black women raising kids on their own. Donovan says Black women should stay home and Black men who in the
work. Yeah, Black men work.
Black men work. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And I'm going to stand on that with 10 toes. I don't believe Black women should be raising children by themselves. You're damn right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said I make the qualification between what actually constitutes a woman being a single mama. Single mama is a mom that has no help raising the children. A single woman is with kids. She's a single woman with kids because the father is there helping her. They're just not together, you know. So there's a difference. And so I think that's kind of where we're going with that, Michael. And let's see here. Kimberly says, is the homelessness due to the economy? There is a lack of available jobs or jobs that don't pay enough to survive. Rent and mortgages have gone up considerably as well. Food, gas, etc. Yes, that has a lot to do with it. A lot to do with it. You see, especially a lot of, I'm in the South now. California is a little bit different. But I noticed in the South, there's a lot of Black women who do a lot of service industry jobs out here. So, and we know, I think he accidentally clicked off. But yeah, especially here in Texas, the minimum wage is what, $7.25? Where the hell are you gonna survive on a minimum wage job? I mean, even in California, I think minimum wage is maybe close to 15, 12, 13 or something. You can't survive in California off no 12, 13, 14, $15 an hour job. Yeah, I mean, you can really barely do that anywhere now because everything has gone up so high. I mean, you guys have been to the grocery stores and you've seen how everything looks. And check it, how you doing? It says the Biden administration is trying to get something out to get around the lawsuit. Yeah, but then it's like, why did they say it in the first place? As many people they have on board, they didn't have somebody to say, well, you know, we include the private institutions, they may sue, so let's not include it in the first place. Why go jump out there with that narrative if it wasn't true? So I don't know. It was like that they purposely do it and then, you know, take it back, say, oh, we can't do it. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to Donovan. There he is. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to skip down to the bottom because I know I'm behind. Thandi says the government says for a family of four, $26,500 is the poverty line. Minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Who can survive on this? I should have read your comment. But if two people work, it could be managed. Married families are needed to stop this. Yes, they are needed to stop that. I totally agree with you. And Stormbringer, how you doing? It says we were better together, not anymore. Yeah, and we need to get back to that frame of mind. Let's put our differences aside and let's do what we got to do in order to get this Black family back together. The Ernest, how you doing? Donovan, I'll put you on mute. There you go. How you doing? It says it may have been mentioned. I'm just joining. It says the Biden student loan forgiveness is only a result of class action lawsuit filed under President Trump. Biden's administration isn't giving up anything to students shackled with student debt. You're absolutely right. I mean, I just have questions like, why jump out the gate with that if you knew that you could not do it? And let's see here. Jessica, he says, we are better together, especially when you are young and building a foundation. That's the benefit of marriage that can't be denied. Absolutely. And Hazel, how you doing? He says, I know women that lost their husband because of them taking advice from Kevin Samuels and the Israelites. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we need Black people to be together. I mean, that's really as strongly as I can say. We need Black people to be together. I mean, our parents and grandparents, they had their issues, but they knew, you know, that they were better together, right? And not so much anymore. It's unfortunate. We have a lot of bad information going on out there telling Black women you don't need your Black man, and Black man you don't need your Black woman, and that's not true. And Tanaya says folks need to stop having kids if you can't afford them, and the way they're acting in Philly, no thanks. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can only speak for me. I got one because I was like, yeah, one is probably all I'm gonna be able to do. And she's been a handful, great kid. Never given me any issues at all. She'll be 30 and she's giving Donovan issues, but no, she'll be 30 in December. Really good kid, but
yeah, she and I are like cats and dogs.
Yeah, but I just made that decision that I wasn't gonna have any more children. But luckily for me, I was able to raise 3 of my niece and nephews, and I consider them like my children. So God knew better than me, and so did I. And H. McDaniel says, you went to war and they could not handle it. So she was quoting. I'll let y'all go into that in the comment section. And Renee D, how you doing? Says, I'm retired. I'm a retired lady electrician who was married to a 26-year-old Navy man, 2 children. My son has 2 children. My daughter has none. I own my home. Man, you was raking in the dough as an electrician. I'm glad you are retired. I'm sure you are living in.
And she probably was a government contractor, so you know she was making the dough. Okay.
And Super Patriot says, a decent mom and dad that are married, it's a superpower. You better believe it. And Lilia says, forced to get degrees to get jobs after jobs were sent to China. Yeah, that's true. So nobody, I want to say this, was forced to get jobs, but if you, degrees, but if you wanted to promote up, and I know quite a few people who had, jobs right out of high school and were doing well, but of course, inflation and the cost of living or whatever, same thing, went up. And they're like, damn, I got to go to school to even promote up. It wasn't like that before, but a lot of these corporations use degrees as that, well, this is going to put you ahead. And it's like, it makes it a little bit more competitive. And so I know of at least 3 people who had to go do that. to promote up.
And unfortunately, in our parents, in our generation, the civil rights generation, they were brought up under the thing: you get a degree, you're going to get a great job. If you have a degree, you're going to get a great job. Now, the Generation Xers, Demetra and my generation, we know that that's not true, and millennials know that that's not true. You could have all the degrees you want, the jobs are not there. So we've got to stop telling these kids, "Oh, you just go to college and whatever, and you just do whatever." A lot of women got these degrees in psychology. That's a great degree to have, because now we got a lot of mental patients out there and military people coming back all jacked up. So what we need to do is take those women that have those degrees and use it for the benefit of society. But unfortunately, though, we should stop telling these kids to go to college when during the pandemic, who were the only people making money? Everybody had a degree, and the people that had degrees, they were sitting at home. The people that were making money were the construction people that were automotive, hair technicians, and all that other stuff. People that could work with their hands and build, they were the ones making the money.
Absolutely. And and I don't know if you said it. Sorry, it's kind of sometimes hard for me to concentrate on what you're saying and read the comments. So I maybe stop reading the comments. But a lot of Black people actually became business owners during the pandemic. Because we know, especially with in the Great Depression, they said the most millionaires were created. I don't know if the pandemic, made more, but after the Great Depression and during the Great Depression, a lot of millionaires were made because there weren't any programs to fall back on. People just had to get it out the mud the best way they could, and eventually they did. And so we kind of saw that as far as the pandemic, people were creating businesses and things like that out of sheer, what else do I do, right? So, and Sunday says plumber. 45 to 58,000 a year electrician, 45 to 60 carpenter, 50. And if you match this with a second person salary, that household can have at least 80,000 a year, easy, and that's almost 4 times the poverty line. Yes, indeed. Especially if you live in the South, that's a pretty good living, unless you go off and get a big giant house that you don't need instead of something that's reasonable, right? And Brother Jonelle says America is a headless horseman. Revelations 18:4, consider the times 13. Yes, indeed. And I believe you're referring to problem number 13 in the wisdom book, I think. And let's see here. If that's not feelings, how you doing? He says poverty is on purpose. Yes, a lot of it is. And, in a lot of cases, poverty can be avoided. Sometimes we got to do a little bit more to, not be in that situation. As we always have Walter here on Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. Walter's kind of he's a little bit more hard-nosed than Donovan and I. And he's like, I don't care. There's no excuses. Again, he's a little bit more hard-nosed than us, but he's one of the people's like, if you have a TV and you broke, that's why you broke. Because you're watching TV and you're not really getting after your life. You know what I mean? A lot of people who are doing well or are striving to do well, they couldn't tell you really what is on TV. Sometimes we build a box and it becomes our comfort zone and we don't do much else outside of that. So facts, not feelings. Yes, indeed. And Renee says they don't take us seriously because we don't respect each other, constant disparaging of each other, including children suffering. Yes, indeed. And we need to knock that off. Jan Michael says, can we quit setting our standards by what's being spread by white supremacists and social and mainstream media? Yes, 100% yes. Super Patriot says if you're normal, just work it out. Yes. All right. So let me get down to the bottom. I keep saying that, but I keep seeing somebody else that I have not seen come on here. Marty, what's going on with you? Let's see who else. Let's see, Larry. I haven't seen you. He says the ones that are single and homeless must have thought they didn't need a man. I wouldn't say that's true for all of them. Again, I don't know all homeless women, but some of them might say, I had a man. Maybe he passed away. I had a man. Maybe he left me for, big booty Belinda or something. I don't know. Yes, there are a lot of, Black women who were probably, I don't even want to say a lot, but there are some Black women. Yeah, they probably was like, I don't need no man. And then they got put out and, so and there's a lot of things that are true for Black women who are homeless, and then some Black women are out there homeless with her man, so, Kimmy says, I love to hear Demetra's laugh and see Donovan. Yes, we try to. And Rain, so you're talking to Michael. And Shonda says, Donovan, my six Amazonian sons are about the change that percentage on Black men's height. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. There's a something in the food. I don't know. Maybe but honestly, all men in the United States, the average height of people being over 6 feet is 12%. The average height of an average American is 5'9".
Ashonda, how old are your sons? I got a daughter that's gonna be 30. Is one of them close? Are you single?
And make sure the brother has a lot of aspirin.
No. My daughter is a sweet, nice, kind, loving, giving woman. Ain't that right, Donovan? Foundational buck broken American. Okay, I don't know about that name, but he says what LGBT guy? So it was in the movie The Woman King. There was an LGBT guy. He was just absolutely not necessary at all in that movie. Okay, and so she says hello. Says I'll say Demetra, I love the hair. Thank you so much. She says I personally would love to have companionship. I'd love to settle down and get married one day, but on the flip side, I believe I don't need a man. Okay, I'm gonna put that up so y'all can see. I'm not just I don't need a man. I believe I fit in that category of if it happens, great. If not, still great. Yeah. And
Nope. I know, Asha. Let me tell you something. Do not believe that stuff. You do need a man. You need a man to have children. You need a man to fix that chirping smoke alarm that keeps going off in the damn house. You do need a man. So don't ever put that in your head that you don't. You do need companionship. No person is an island. Even as much as I'm by myself, I need a woman. Demetra's, kicking it by herself, and she, stays buried in her house. I tell her every time we talk, get out there and put yourself out there.
It's scary.
But hey, you got to do it because you do not want to grow old by yourself. Think about this. Okay, let's say you're a young person right now. You got your family. You just had your brand new baby thing. And your old ass parent is coming to you that you got to take care of. That's going to cause confusion in your house because instead of taking care of your husband and your family, you feel obligated to take care of your elder parent, unless, the elder parent lost the husband and, in old age. I can understand that. But let's just say mama's been single for all those years, right? By choice. Now she's getting older, she's getting sick, and we're like that. No, if she had her spouse like you have your spouse, you won't have to worry about that. So yes, you do. You do not want to grow old by yourself. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I mean, I get what she's saying. I want a companion. I'm just gonna keep it real. But I get what she's saying on the end of it. If it happens, it happens. Now I don't know how old Asha is.
Asha is a nice young in her 30s.
Okay, so yeah,
or maybe late 20s.
Yeah, you keep living. Keep living. I am 51. I've been through quite a bit in relationship deal. And so I'm not giving up. I would like to be in a relationship, but I'm one of those people I've just been through a lot. And y'all think I'll be joking when I say I think another heartbreak would kill me. I really do think that it would just, how Fred Sanford clutched his heart. I think that would be me. And so I kind of am cautious because the healing process from that, especially, I don't know if when you get older, because I'm healthy, but it takes a toll on you to have to go through that, to get your mind and your heart right and get happy again. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just kind of have a lot of trepidation about it. Not that I'm saying that, ain't no good black man out there. I'm saying that this is really on me, just kind of being a little bit fearful to get back out there. Brother Samuel, how you doing? And then Facts I Feel says every other black woman I see on the street driving the latest Mercedes, Audi, Land Rovers says, how can there be a homeless population with black women? Well, it's they're becoming more of the homeless population. So I don't necessarily know if black women are the most. If they are not, it's close. But there's a lot of black women who are doing well too. Because I think we're also speaking in terms of black women just ain't no black women doing well. There's a lot of sisters doing well, and in some cases, the sisters are doing even better than the brothers. Now, the other side of that is some people pushing Audis. And they pushing it right past the repo man too. So let's not be fooled by that. And Jarrell, how you doing? He says, I recommend people also watch Dane Calloway's channel. Black Americans are the true American Indians. It's time to reclaim this land. Okay, I heard of him, but haven't gotten into him what he does, but I have heard that name floating around. Yes, indeed, Donovan, we do appreciate your service. And Pioneer says, I support the Black troops in the military, and I wish more FBA would be officers instead of just enlisted privates. And okay, let's see here. Asha says, I've always been above average height for a female. I'm 5'10", and I have often thought to myself, I'd like to be with someone who is taller than me, especially in heels. But I'm thankful that is not something I'm hung up on. It's fine and dandy, normal and natural to have physical features that you prefer, but to hold so much to it that you overlook how a person treats you isn't wise. It's the easiest way to miss out on a genuine, loving relationship. Looks aren't everything. I totally agree.
Hey, and let me just say this real quick. Put Asha's thing back up there real quick. Asha is on Facebook if you guys are interested, and she sometimes puts up a show and she talks, for a young person about things of that is totally different. It's not really political. It's just things that are is on her mind, and it's a very good show. So if you guys get a chance, tune into her show on Facebook. Asha Janine is her name, and she has some really good content coming from a different perspective of a young person growing up and trying to survive, work these waters in the modern age.
Absolutely. And Marty says, I see Black women driving $80,000 cars, living in low-income apartments. I want to know how. How do they do that? You know what I mean? Because if you live in low-income apartments, I guess you can move the car if, the inspection people, they got to have inspection people come by, but it's like, nah, that's backwards, sis. You shouldn't be having a car that's worth more than your rent.
You remember a lot of the remember your favorite movie Claudine, right? See how they were doing inspecting on the Black women. My mom said back in the day they would come down on the Black women, but they wouldn't do it to the white women. They didn't go over there inspecting the white women and seeing what she had and taken from her. And so we have a lot of public servants nowadays that don't want to do the job. They just, here's the paperwork. They're not going to go inspect. And that's how they're getting away with it. That's why these dudes are living with these women that they're not supposed to be living with in the low income housing, because nobody is doing the job.
Absolutely. Marty, you crazy. I'm reading your comments, talking about what you got to do in California. It's funny, but there's a lot of
you're not far from the truth, brother.
Yes, there's a lot of nefarious things that one probably would think about doing to live in California. I used to live in California, Southern California, before I came to Houston. Been here 2 years, and I will say that financially, it's I can breathe here. I'm in Southern California. I could pay my bills, but it was like, damn, it'd be nice to be able to afford a bottle of water. I'm just playing. It wasn't quite that bad, but
or a bag of M&Ms.
Right. Tiffany, how you doing? It says, I don't believe it. How do you go from being the most educated to most unhoused? I want to see the stats. How many Black women did the interview and in what area? So make a good point, because we know statistics sometimes they are kind of waffled in their numbers, but I think it's more or less an issue of becoming. And they're saying becoming. So I don't know if it's necessarily the most homeless yet, but they're saying, the experts are saying that Black women are becoming the most unhoused. They say out of 1 in 4 Black women are facing being unhoused, especially in today's time.
And then Tiffany, you don't forget, just because you have a degree doesn't mean you make a certain amount of money. I know a lot of people that have degrees that are still working at Walmart. I have 12 degrees and I'm not working at all. Not that I'm looking for it, but my point is, you can have all the degrees you want, but that isn't going to up your pay. They're going to say, this is what the job pays. This is what it is. For me to come out of retirement, I've been on plenty of interviews where they offered me $120,000. That is not enough for me to come out of retirement. For my experience and my knowledge, you're gonna have to pay me a minimum for me to even look at you, $200,000. So it's not a thing of having a degree. Everybody's got degrees now. Everybody has them. It has nothing to do with being evicted. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you're a millionaire, you're making good money. That's just not true.
Yeah, depending on where you live, like I said, Marty, I'm from Southern California, born in Northern California, but mostly raised my whole life in Southern California. And you gotta hustle. And I'm gonna just say this, and I don't want to be rude or disrespectful to anybody. Please don't take this that I'm not this way. But I noticed that coming to the South, it's just like, and I think maybe it's just kind of the way it is. There's some hustlers in the South, don't get me wrong, some hustlers, but just kind of being from California where it's hustle, 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 hustle all the time. And then you come to the South, you're like, man, y'all leaving all this money on the table? For real? Okay. Because that's kind of what we used to, especially living in Southern California where everything is high. I mean, the breathe is high,
Yeah, California, if you're not about your hustle, they're just going to step on you and keep on going to the next.
Yes, indeed. And we'll go back to this. Freddie B says YouTube is very divisive when it comes to Black women and Black men. And I think it's by design. And I think those of us who are smart, we need to realize that and say, nah, I ain't buying into that. That y'all fight over that. But as for me, I'm not speaking for me, love Black men. I want to be with a Black man. I think Black men are dope. My Black daddy, I'd be disrespectful. I just always say that. I just feel like for me, it'd be disrespectful to my Black daddy to discount Black men because I wasn't raised that way. So, that's just me. I can't speak for nobody else. And Pamela said Biden just told Black women what he thought would get the votes, and it worked. I hope these Black people who voted for the Democrats learned their lesson from the lies Biden told. Some are waking up, but a lot are like, well, I'm not quite ready to be awakened yet. Pioneer says Black folks are no freer in South Africa, and that South Africa than they are in the United States is our mentality that has to change for the better, not our location. You are 100% right. Yes, indeed. Mari says American society is toxic and backwards. Yes, indeed. Asha, you say cost of living is high. Times I've done job hunting, the average made per hour compared to how much it costs to have your own place on top of everything else makes no sense unless you're making enough to pay everything all by yourself, and that's agreed upon in a relationship. Then both the man and woman need to work to each their own, and I respect that, but I don't want to not contribute to make things happen, whether me or whoever I'm with have kids or not. Absolutely.
See, but again, as a natural woman, it's like yin and yang. You can't have one without the other. So Asha, in your situation, to come into a relationship with a man and think that you're not contributing, that's not true. You are contributing because you're a woman and a part of that component. And see, that's what I'm saying. They've warped men and women's perception of what you bring to the table. The table is not the woman. A lot of women say, when you ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? Oh, me. No, that isn't what that the table is the relationship. What do you bring to the relationship? I bring comfort. I bring skill. I bring education. I bring a different perspective. I bring love. I bring tenderness. That's what you bring to the table. Not, oh, I got big booty. I got a big breasts and, I got the good. That isn't, if that's all you got, you ain't got a lot.
Brother, I hear you. And whenever I speak to y'all, I'll speak from personal experience. I'm never speaking from anybody else's experiences but my own. There's a lot of women, including myself, who brought all of that to the table. Okay. I'm telling y'all right now, my mama, RIP, I am not a bad woman. I'm not one of those women. Sit down, shut up, be quiet, get it yourself.
I love those type of women. Go ahead.
Donovan said he likes to be treated like a rag doll. So I get what you're saying, but I just got to speak for the women just for a little bit. There's a lot of women who do all of that, and we still get punched in the face, not physically, but, in other ways. And so I hear what y'all saying. Just bring yourself, be submissive, be cooperative, be soft, be feminine, be all of that. And then when you're that, it's like you get your heart stomped on with cleats.
Yeah, everybody takes a chance. And look at the guys that go into a relationship with the women, they get cheated on or they find out the baby ain't his and he's been paying on it for 7-8 years. I mean, we all take a chance, but that's, we're talking extreme stuff. And like I said, just like you now, after experiencing all of this stuff, do you not vet potential mates better than you did when you first got with them? Of course you do.
I mean, yeah, when you're in your 20s, you like the little rah-rah, you like the little gangster, I still like a man with a little gangster. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I ain't talking about gangster like he out on the boulevard and, he's sagging his pants and smoking. Now, I'm talking about...
You talking about the Ike Turner little, I'm not taking no guff, woman.
Not quite Ike Turner, okay? Well, let's back it up a little bit, okay? Y'all know what I mean. Y'all ladies, y'all know what I mean. You like a man with a little backbone. Like, now, baby, you're doing a little too much talking. Oh, okay. All right. Let me go and sit my cute self down somewhere.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, but what we're saying is your life is a gamble. So you just can't go in there and think every man's going to do that. We as people have to choose better. I mean, I've gone through girlfriend after girlfriend. I'm still looking because they're not meeting what I need or, it isn't working out. But, a lot of you women, and this is my opinion, you guys go in there looking for this Prince Charming type guy. And unfortunately, you didn't really vet the guy enough. And one of the main mistakes a lot of I'm talking to young women, the young women do, because the older women should know better, is you do not bring these young men around your family. That is the biggest mistake you will ever make, because if anybody will vet this person, is somebody in your family that will say, hey, there's something wrong about this guy, because they will see something that you will not see.
Pioneer, what you mean? What do I know about the wisdom book? You know, my daddy is FOI till he died since he was 19 years old. My daddy is 78 years old. So what that tell you? I've seen the wisdom book. Yes, Marty said trade's always been important. Yep, shoot. I was thinking about getting a trade. I'm like, I think I should become a plumber. But I think the minute I see the first gross job, I'm be like, that was a waste of an education, because I don't want to do this no more.
Honey, I had a shitty day today.
Literally, you know. Or I went to this man's house and he was mad I wouldn't show no butt crack. Because plumbers show their butt crack. Renee says, we need trade schools back. They are hiring now, have work for the next 14 years. Yes, indeed. Learn a trade. I mean, my father's been a mechanic all his life, you know, and he always say, if you can work with your hands, you'll never starve. So I totally agree with you. All right, so let me get out here. Jalamo, how you doing? He says, didn't Goldman Sachs pledge $1 billion to Black women?
Yeah, they just pledged it. They just pledged it. They haven't given no money. They just pledged it. And Black women, show me the money. Show me the money. They just pledged it. They never cut a check. They never did.
I just heard that they pledged. I think it was a couple years ago, but I don't know any results of that. Do I have an echo, you guys? Still? Am I having an echo?
It's fine now. It's fine now.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to hurt you guys' ears. Thank you, Brother Jonelle. And all right, so let me get and Ashanti says, I teach my children about business ownership. Working for people capture income potential, but working for yourself requires heavy self-discipline and innovation. Yes, indeed. Because who motivates the motivator? Who tells the self-employed to get up out of the bed and go to work? That person, right? And if you don't, you're going to be punching the clock somewhere again. So I totally agree with you. Bo, how you doing? He says they voted for the Democrat Party. Malcolm was warning Black Americans about the Democratic Party. Yes, indeed. The lying liberals sure did. Those who said, what does a wig have to do with it? I'm going to let y'all get him, because I didn't hear him say the wig. I was probably reading the comments, but I'm sure you talking about Donovan. Donovan, did you say something about a wig? I'm going to get to these comments and see.
Wait. Now, I might have said, like, I did remember writing in the comments that I said that we as Black people need to tighten up our belts. Do we need the $500 weave? Do we need the $100 nails? Do we need the weed and the dudes with the stupid cars and the rims and stuff like that? That's what I was saying in regards that we're coming into a time with prices going up that we're going to have to really assess our financial situation. And unfortunately, you might not be able to do those nails, ladies, every 4 weeks or whatever. You might not be able to do your hair every, that you're just throwing money away that you need in the household. That was my point.
Got you. Yeah. I mean, if you, cannot afford, to pay your rent and all of that, yeah, some of those things you might want to put on the back burner until you can, do better financially, because we all like to look good and, have a little fun, but it ain't fun sleeping in your car until they come get that. Pioneer, you crazy. You said a lot of these young people are big and tall, but weak as hell. They need a little spinach in their life. Super Patriot says, was there a trans person in that movie? That's crazy. He wasn't trans. No, he was just LGBTQ, and he was just kind of, the role that he played in the movie, he was, I don't know if he was like a messenger, but he really kind of just stood around a lot, and not even like being funny, but he did this a lot. Like, he did a lot of that, and I was like, okay. So yeah, it was kind of odd. Jessica, you said a lot of homelessness among women is the same as men, drug abuse problems or mental illness. Yes, in addition to, unemployment and everything. So you're absolutely right. Bowie says they are setting it up for all them immigrants to move into them houses so they can have an address to vote. Yep. Because did y'all see, it was Nancy Pelosi the other day that said, what'd she say? Oh, they need to bring the immigrants in because Americans aren't working. They don't want to work. So they need to bring the immigrants in, I think, to work the fields or something. I can't forget what it was. It's like, damn, Nancy, you know, you ain't even gonna try to disguise that. You just go, I think it was because she's, you know, up there. She just kind of said it and it was like, whoa. All right. All right. So let me skip down a little bit to the bottom. Joanne says, Donovan, we are all different, been married, and a grandma can fix things around the house and love the Most High. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. But the point is, women shouldn't have to do that if they choose not to. Like I said, I just don't feel a woman should do those things, especially if you got, let's say, your sons in the household playing their PlayStation, and you can't get that kid to go up there and change that battery in the smoke detector. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, you know, on live, some people who got men and the smoke detector is just all up in the conversation. They're like, hey, we want to be in the live too. It's like, because, you know, I'm one of those people, I'm real anal about that. Y'all, I would die unless, you know, God forbid I was on here right now and the smoke detector just went bad. I would rather be ran over by a train than y'all to hear my smoke detector in the back. I got high smoke detectors, and one day I was here by myself, and I walked into the house and I heard it going off. I was like, oh, hell to the no. So I don't have a tall ladder. Probably should get one because, you know, most houses got those vaulted ceilings. So I'm a guy with it. I got my daughter's exercise bike. And I stood on that. And I think I put something. No, I didn't put, I was tall enough. And I was able to reach it. And I was like, damn, if I fall and break my neck, ain't nobody going to know. Because my daughter was in California at the time. But needless to say, I was going to change that smoke detector if it was the last thing that I did. So I don't know. Anyway, Super Patriot says, I go by my Grammy weekly. She can't do it. I'll do it until the end. I know that's right. Yes, indeed. All right. So let me see. Monet says it's scary to put yourself into the world as a single person. You don't know what you're going to get. That's why I'm like, let me just sit there, you know, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm scared as hell. I would be lying to y'all if I didn't say I was scared as hell to get out there in a relationship. Because, you know, dating ain't what it was back in the day. It's like, I've never been on a dating app or any of that stuff. I know people who are on the dating apps, and it's just like, why do you put yourself through that? You know what I mean? But for me, it's just scary, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't fear a lot of things. But getting out there and getting hurt again, that's really scary for me. So I'd rather just, you know, kick it, you know, do whatever. Rain, Donovan is trying to, Donovan Rain is trying to get your attention.
No. Yeah, no, we're going to be, you know, hooking up sooner or later down the road. I'm working on that right now.
Pioneer says, plus a lot of these younger people are made funny nowadays. They aren't made like the old generations where a lot of these young women have flat butts and narrow hips for some reason, probably because they sitting on them more or something. You know, back in the day, you know, my mama, she was a housewife, if you will, and she's, you know, stayed home with us. My mom had backs, but my mom was active. You know, my mom she wasn't sitting home doing nothing. You know, she was working.
Yeah, your mom was always doing something. But you know, I really think in regards to these relationships, you know, even if you do get married, the laws have made it to where you have no fault divorces, where it makes it a lot easier to get out of these marriages. Which is why I don't understand why people don't get married. If it's so easy to get out of them than it was back in our parents' day. I mean, you had to either catch the person cheating or have, you know, some kind of proof. Now you could do it, but yet we're having babies with people and we're not legally married to them. And then you have to go back to the courts to get your, you got a lot of these young men that think because they're the father that they have custodial rights, and they don't. You got to go back to court to get those reestablished. Whereas if you were married, that's already automatic and already established. There's a lot of benefits to being married. And I just don't understand, you know, if you're living like you're married and acting like you're married, just go ahead and get married. Golly, just go ahead and get married.
Yeah, and I don't know how much harder it is to get out of marriages today than it was back then.
How long did it take you to get out of your marriage?
Well, I mean, 10 months.
There you go.
But I don't think it was any more difficult back then. I just think back then people were like, you know what? Yeah, right now you suck as a human. But if we're going to stay together, let's work it out. We got these kids to raise. I think people's, I think their goals were a little bit differently. Now it's just like, I could trade you in for anything now, you know. So I don't know. I just think people saw things a little bit differently. But TG Hamilton, how you doing? You say, my mom has outlived my father and my stepfather. I must be her support with or without a man. What is Donovan even talking about? So I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were saying something about kids having to take care of the parents now or something like that.
Yeah, what I was saying is in regards to, is it fair that, okay, let's say you have a daughter and she's just got married, had a brand new baby. And let's say because, as I'm getting older, whatever, and I'm by myself and then I have a health crisis thing, is it fair to put that burden on my children in regards to taking care of myself? Whereas as if I had a spouse that would take care of me in regards to things, of that nature. Do you see what I'm saying?
So you're basically saying you're not saying not to take care of your mom?
No, that ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you grow older, you shouldn't grow older by yourself, because if you're by yourself, now I have a health crisis. Now my kids have to take care of me, which is fine. That they're going to help out whatever deals. But what if their spouse isn't with that? It breaks up. It puts more pressure on their family, because now their attention is on me. When if I had my spouse, that would be my spouse's responsibility to take care of me.
But yeah, so like she said, her mother, and I believe it's her. So forgive me if it's not. Mother outlived her father and her stepfather. So
yeah, no, and that's the situation I'm talking about. That's fine when you outlive them. Like I said, they were together. What I'm talking about is these women that are like, well, I'm 50 years old and I can go the next 30 years by myself. No, you should not grow old by yourself.
I mean, and I think, listen, I'm 51 years old, goddammit, and so
you told me you were 31.
Today I'm 51. Listen, I've said it, and I think, and I'm gonna read Renee's comment. Sorry. I'm 71, alone, not lonely. My husband died in 2001. I cook, clean, repair, sold, plant veggies. Now, if he comes along, so be it, but not on the hunt. Yeah, and I think that's just a lot of women. I'm 51, so she's 21 years older than me. Close enough. And it's like...
Our parents' age, yeah.
Alone and being lonely is two different things. I'm not lonely, I'm by myself. My daughter lives here. So, I'm not lonely or alone. But as far as a companion, listen, I tried. You know what I mean? I tried. And as I said, and somebody said, I need somebody who's 60. There's a lot of dudes out there, 60, 70 years old, still out there getting around with the best of them,
And you saw it in the DR.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about all of that. Thunder. He says, and when you grow old, your investments will take care of you both. 2 retirement Social Security checks sound better than burning your children and taking food and money from your grandchildren. Yes, I'm trying to be with somebody. They just ain't trying to be with me. So I don't know. Hello, Dennis. How are you? Let's see here. And Lilia says, yes, we are the real Americans. Okay. And Pioneer says, I think there should be a sizable Black population in every state in the United States except California. Laugh out loud, but this is our nation and we need to take charge of it, every part of it. Yes, indeed. Yeah, California is like less than 6% Black people. So yeah, and then Ashi says, I appreciate the shout out. I think she's talking to you, Donovan, and Blasphemy. How you doing? Long time no see. Says, how about working at T-Mobile and driving a Benz? Or maybe that person is the manager. I don't know, the regional sales rep. I don't know. What do they do at T-Mobile? You could be selling a lot of phones and drive a Mercedes, I would think. And Kimberly says, me too. That's what I would like to know. Okay, so let's see here. Kurt, how you doing? You crazy. He says, what happened? What happened to Al DeBarge? Y'all have to ask him.
Al DeBarge is still around. They're still friends and they still hang out and stuff. See, and that's nothing with Demetra. She's so good-hearted that most women would have been like, if I see that sucker, I'm running him over with the car. Demetra's like, hey, it is what it is, and she moves on, and she wishes him well, and look, gets herself back in shape. Fellas, why is it that when we break up with our woman and we really screw up, and we see them with, out there and about or with another dude, they look so much better when they're with somebody else. What did we do? Why do we do this to ourselves?
I don't know. Why do you do it to yourself? Let's see here. All right. Damon, how are you doing? It says rolling up late. Peace and blessings to all in the chat. Yes, indeed, brother. Aaron, what you talking about? Sharon is Karen. What you talking about? Tiffany says, absolutely. This is why the field you choose and where you live in is important. Yes, indeed, as far as occupation. And Double A, how you doing? It says, I can see the women in low income housing driving a Class C Benz. How?
Well, the strip club is 2 blocks over. They just walk over to make their money and then come back into the hood.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they got a sugar daddy or something. I don't know.
They're working at the gentleman's club, not far from the projects. Okay.
Well, and they got a lot of sugar daddies because men at the gentleman's club, y'all the sugar daddy.
Exactly. They have a show. It's called Surviving the Pole or something like that. It's some show. I never really watched. I saw clips of it, and I'm just like, huh?
Yes, indeed. And Pioneer says the South is much more laid back, especially when you're outside of Atlanta or Miami. Yeah, those are the hot spots. Blasphemy, you says, you need to tell that to the women in our community. Okay. And Aaron, you says, I'm stuck in California. I would say come to the South.
I'm stuck.
Oh, do you want to be stuck in California? Is that what it is, Aaron? You want to be stuck? I mean, I miss California every day. Don't get me wrong. And Donovan put up a picture today on Facebook and his backyard. I miss Donovan's backyard. Very nice backyard, but I miss the palm trees and the breeze. And Southern California this time of year is just so great.
Awesome, especially where we live in the desert. We just get the whole gamut.
Yes. Michael, he says, Donovan and Demetra, you should tell your brothers and sisters to move to Virginia, Texas, Maryland, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, South Carolina, and D.C.
Every place you just mentioned is a stronghold that supported the Klan. Not moving there.
Yes, I'm behind you. I was fanning myself. I get hot. I think they like hot flashes, you know. Sometimes I get those. And okay. And TP Judah Lion, how are you doing? And Kimberly says cost of living has gone way up in the South over the past 5 years. Yeah, I mean, hell, some of the places in the Texas is just as high as California. It's like, how?
And Kimberly, do you want to know why in the last 5 years the prices have gone up? Because people from California are moving there. That's statistically been proven why the prices are going up, especially Texas is hollering and screaming.
Well, it's not just California, but it's New York. It's, people from
these people moving from these big Chicago, these big cities. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And Doja Cat says a lot of black men are not on the lease, so falls on the black women's shoulders. Yeah, I think they should be put on the lease. We gonna all share this responsibility, boo-boo. All of us,
But see, when you put the black man on the lease, then when a mad day comes, you can't throw him out because he's on the lease. So that's why they don't put a lot of the other person on the lease.
Yes, indeed. Mr. D. Robbie say people in general, not black people, not black women, but just people need to make wise decisions. I made several bad decisions in life, but I learned from it. It's not learning that leaves you in a bad way. Yeah, no, that's one thing that I do is I learn from all of my mistakes or mishaps, missteps, whatever. I try to learn something from that. Mama Deb, how are you?
We told you not to go to Texas. We begged you, the whole family, and you went anyway.
Y'all lying. Y'all didn't beg me not to go. Y'all was like, adios. See you later.
Leave your California card. Don't come back.
Right. Mama Deb, how you doing? He says, we don't have to work that hard here in Texas. My children don't have degrees. My son makes $165,000. My youngest daughter, $180,000. And my oldest daughter makes about $1.5 million a year. So you don't. It says, that's impressive too, by the way. So good job for you, Mama. Says I have a master's degree, but I'm retired, but I never got a chance to use my degree. Absolutely. Yeah, there's money in the South. Because, we're amongst our people and there's, different opportunities. Yeah, if you have a degree or whatever, but, if you have even just a little hustle bones in your body, you're going to do all right, Michael says, Demetra and Donovan, please see my email regarding higher education proposal. Okay. Did you send it to us today? All right. So let's see. Dusty Hotep was going to say a lot of women say they are the table. I tell them just because you're shaped like a table doesn't make you the table. Why?
Yeah, I need to use that. I'm gonna use that next time somebody tells me they're the table.
Yeah, Damon. 50 Shades of Grey, which I hated that book right away. I read 200 pages. I was like, could have had a V8. Yeah, I think, everybody should have a personal resume. Somebody asks you about you, you should be able to say, something about you. Well, yeah, see, no, to be able to tell somebody about yourself, well, baby, What you got going on? Okay, I have this, I have that. I'm the table. You know, that, man. It could work depending on, but I always ask men, what are you looking for? You say, well, you got to bring more to yourself in the relationship. What do you want her to bring to the relationship? You know, quite a few men that I ask that question to be like,
Why don't they just be honest? I want you to have a big booty, great sex. You can cook. Every brother wants a chick that can cook, and you can clean. It's very simple.
listen, and I don't have a problem with none of that, Kate. I never had a problem with any of that. You can ask anybody I've been with, they'll say, Demetra, it does not have a problem with doing any of that, but I will have a problem with it if you ain't bringing what you need to be bringing up in here. Like, or if you're mandating me to do that, and I think I need you to be like, okay, I want you to stay home, take care of the household, cook, clean, and, you know, whatever, bend it like Beckham whenever I ask you to. But I also need you to make it possible for me to stay home and I can walk around the house in little furry slippers and, you know, dolled up. How you doing, baby? Hand you a martini at the door. Now, all of that, you know.
It works both ways. Exactly. If we have a demand that we put on women, they have the exact right to put that same demand on us and their expectations. But you got these brothers out here who've been watching these pimp movies and all this BS and think that, oh yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, you got to bring home the whole loaf. I say that all the time. Now, not half the loaf. You got to pay the cost. And Demetra's mom used to say this, to be the boss.
Yes, indeed. No, Marty, I don't want no Suge Knight. Okay, that's a little bit too much gangster. And brother Jonell, your comment, he says, so it's too much Ike and Turner instead of Bill and Claire. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Ike Turner, we don't want that. Definitely not no Suge Knight because yeah, he was a lot.
I don't know if you guys have been with us for a long time, but I used to put up a meme of what's love got to do with it when Lawrence Fishburne came in at the end and he brought the flowers. I'm always going to send that to Demetra as a warning if she ever tries to leave the show.
Yeah, and I see some of the women saying, yeah, I need a little gangster. Not quite like Ghost. Ghost was a killer. And a cheater. Ghost is fine now, don't get me wrong, but
she needs like the Michael Corleone type, you know, the Sonny, the big brother, the older brother, more aggressive brother.
No, I'm just saying I don't want him to be beating my ass or nothing like that, or, you know, cussing me out. I just want him to be, you know, baby, I got
stern when he has to be stern.
Yeah.
In control, you know.
I'm going to tell y'all, men, I'm just speaking for me, and I know some of the ladies would agree. We like that.
Yes.
We like when a man, you know, could be, you know, assertive. I ain't talking about shut up, sit down, but, you know, assertive. Baby, I got this. Go and stick your little self down somewhere. I got this. Okay.
Yeah, when I was a young man at the base, something had happened, and my girlfriend at the time, she was kind of like getting in an argument, and I stepped in and moved her to the side. Now, remember, she's 4 years older than me at the time. I moved her to the side, right? And she's watching me handle the situation. We get home later on that night. I don't know what it was. Best time of my life, fellas. So, you know, take control of the situation when you need to take control of the situation.
Yes, indeed. I am behind. Finder says your father was right, sis. When you have a skilled trade, you will never starve. I remember as a kid, you can go into any alley in Detroit and find a wino or dope addict who could fix a stove. You better believe it. They come have your car up and running, you know, so absolutely. And check it. He says, Demetra K, that is all part of eugenics. Yes, indeed. And Monet says, maybe Demetra and Donovan need to start a dating chat, love connection, since we all have something in common. Tuning into the show, maybe we have more than one thing in common. Let's connect.
You know, it's funny. I was going to bring that idea up to Demetra, where, you know, like you have these other, like you have, what's that lady that has the dating show? The black girl from Chicago. She's the radio. Her name is escaping my thing. Kendra G. She has that little dating show. I was like, Demetra, you need to do something like that, you know?
I've seen once. She's kind of like the Kevin Samuels, the females.
Not really. She hates Kevin Samuels. But yet, look at how she talked now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. She hates Kevin Samuels. She hates him.
She hates Kevin Samuels, but she hijacking his stuff.
Right. Yeah, she's starting to see a lot of the delusion that he was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested. I don't want to have a dating show for, you know, because a lot of times I see things on the internet and it's got that gladiator effect. Y'all know what I mean by the gladiator effect? What I mean by that is it's like you got this host and they bring in the person that's going to be slayed by the lion or whatever.
Yeah, Daniel and the lion.
Yeah, and then you got the crowd that's like, you know how back in the day you give a thumbs down, and that means, you know, do away with them. So I see a lot of that on the internet, and I'm like, nah, I would rather do it to where we're getting people together, not tearing people apart.
Right. Do a relationship show then, not a dating show, a relationship show.
I just feel like a hypocrite, you know? How the hell you gonna tell somebody to get in a relationship and you ain't got a man?
Because you don't want one. Because you don't want one.
I do, but I don't want one that's gonna be me, that's gonna do me dirty.
See, but that's the difference. There's people that can get one, and you know, right now you could go out there and get you a man right now. You know that for a fact. But there are some people out there, like myself. I'm a man. I just can't go out there and just pull knock a woman over the head and then bring her in the house. You know, that's not going to happen. See, so there's a difference.
Yes, indeed. The check, it says Demetra K, putting people in a position that can barely find decent, affordable wage, earning a living, can't keep what they make, etc. Yeah, no, it's hard. It's really hard. And a lot of people, if you have one mishap or one, you know, slight emergency, it could throw everything off. All of a sudden, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your car, you're like behind, and then God forbid, you got to go to a checking and cash place or those loan sharks where they charge you 500,000%, you know, on the money that you borrow. So yeah, it's a lot going on. Mama Deb says, facts, Donovan shed some of the weight of the responsibility and focus on what's really important to Black family. Yes, indeed. And Larry says, we don't take care of our needs. It's all about wants. Yep. Beg for what we need, buy what we want, beg for what we need. And we need to flip that upside down. And yes, Sister Moni, yes, this topic actually did come from that about our brother Phil. I saw it because I was kind of struggling with content. And I saw that. I was like, okay, that looks like a pretty good topic. So yes, I have thanked Brother Phil in the beginning for inspiring this show today. And Pioneer says, King, you're wasting your time trying to tell some of these fools to manage and budget their money properly. It's like telling an adult not to play hopscotch on the freeway if you got to tell them. Wow, I hope it's not that bad. My goodness, Pioneer. Miss Pioneer says, when I was a child, my mother used to paint her nails every Sunday night as she did on hair. See, I'm a Saturday girl. You know, I got my hair, you know, up in these little braids or whatever it is now. But that was me on Saturday. I washed my hair, do my nails, my toes and stuff, and, you know, the skin routine and be ready for the week. But you know what? That's old school. And I actually learned that from my mother and my grandmothers. Prepare yourself, groom yourself for the following week so that you can, you know, hurry up and do everything you need to do so you can, you know, go about your life throughout the week. So yes, that is very old school. And Kimberly says, what's next? A movie titled Man, Queen, y'all tripping? I hope not. Again, I saw the movie as a content creator. I can't talk to y'all about stuff that I have not seen. It was more to it. She was only referred to the Woman King one time. And that was at the end of the movie after she went, you know, and handled business. And she was actually, it's just, she never was the king. There was a king that she, you know, showed a lot of reverence and she submitted to him. She said, my king, my king, my king. Since y'all ain't gonna go see the movie, I'll tell you, he ended up selecting her as a wife. So she was actually became one of his wives. So she never acted in the capacity.
That had to be a hard ride.
No, I mean, you know, he was like, she the baddest woman in the kingdom. Because he had beautiful, submissive women that were cute. But he was like, shit, this woman got my back. So, you know, that's why he called her that. And he, you know, brought her in. He had a lot of wives.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we need to go back to the good old days. But anyway, whatever happened to that movie with the gay guy, the superhero? Remember a couple years ago, we were talking about Super B or whatever it was? Yeah. Whatever happened to that movie? Are they still making that movie?
If there is a God, no. Okay? If God is a God in the sky, no. No shade to Super Bitch. Asha says, what should men do to better men? Oh, my goodness. Men, can y'all throw that in the chat? I'll put that up there so we can see it. Y'all can answer that. I'm going to get down to the bottom. I promise you this time. Let's see here, because I know I'm way behind in the comments. But if I see somebody I have not seen on here, I am going to respond. If y'all could throw that in the chat, the question there, I think it's a pretty good question. Mama Debbie says, speed dating. You know, I probably could do some speed dating because I can get to know a person in a not know them, but I can have a pretty good conversation with somebody in a relatively short time. I don't know. I guess I just need to get over my intrepidation of dating, because I'm one of those people that when I'm in a relationship, I'm all in a relationship. You know what I mean? I want to make sure my man is good. He, he ain't hungry. I just want to. I always make sure that my man is good in every way, shape, and form. But I don't know. Because I was at the point to where I was like, maybe I should just be just a witch. Because men seem to like women who just, not men, I say some men, like women who are just awful. But the women who are sweet and loving is like, I'm gonna cheat on you.
Well, it's the same thing as the guy that's soft. Oh, girl, I don't want to be with him because he's just kind of soft. Yeah, I need a rough dude. A lot of women say, when I was coming up, I was really soft, but I was the Ike Turner type guy. No, I wasn't, abusive like that. But I mean, when I had to get into it, I would get into it. Demetra, you would tell them when I get upset or if I'm serious, I'm a totally different person.
He ain't nobody. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, guys. Intellect and Thunder says also we must have life insurance. That way, if something happens to the other, one will be taken care of. Absolutely. Those are grown-up things. A lot of people get in relationships and don't expect to do grown-up things. Buying a house, that's grown-up stuff. Getting life insurance on one another, that's grown-up stuff. Having a nest egg, and planning for the future, that's grown-up stuff. Like you can't Netflix and chill your whole relationship. Is like, okay, where are we going with this? So I don't know, but you're absolutely right. I've had life insurance for a very long time. I have life insurance on my daughter. I have for a very long time. If I get in a relationship again, we'll have life insurance on each other as well. It's just the way it should work,
Yeah, y'all stop watching those crime shows. My wife did it, or whatever those ones are.
I used to sell life insurance, and I always tell people all the time, listen, the beneficiary is one of the first people they look at. If something happened to you, they like, okay, do they have a life insurance policy? Yeah. Who are the beneficiaries? And they usually start there and with the spouse. If they're married, they start and find if there's a motive. Oh, they took this insurance policy out 3 weeks ago, and now they dead. Okay, they're probably gonna go to the beneficiary.
What's your good friend Bishop Whitehead? That's a prime example. As soon as he files for compensation on that jewelry, they're going to get him.
Well, they said they caught the people who actually did it. So I saw that the other day. They caught them. So the Pioneer says, actually, the government should provide free healthcare and decent nursing homes to people to help people who are disabled and needy instead of forcing you to rely on relatives and charity. I totally agree with that because a lot of other countries they do that. So
yeah, the funny thing, Pioneer, is that like here a lot of military bases they're putting up homeless veteran homeless housing. These things are better than like senior housing. I mean, these guys got it. Just it's unbelievable. And they do pay a rent, but it's not like high rent. I think it's like $300 or $200 out of their VHX. I mean, just a whole campus with everything they need right on that campus.
And Mama Deb, you're absolutely right. You say Black people do not do nursing homes. Yeah, my mom, she died of cancer. So she was in hospice, and we had an opportunity to, send her to a hospice center. But my sister's like, nah, we bringing her home. And, my sister passed away in my sister's home. And we would have had it no other way. We wanted to, be there for my mom, take care of my mom. God forbid she would have been at a hospice and, overnight or something, she passed. I think that would have been harder for us. It was hard to take care of her and watch her deteriorate from cancer, knowing that was going to be her last days. But, we wouldn't have had it any other way. So I totally agree with you. That's not something we typically do, is shelve our people away. So you're right about that. Pioneer says having a spouse doesn't guarantee you'll have somebody to take care of you in need either. A lot of spouses leave their partners when they get sick. Ain't that so sad? It's like, wow, whatever happened to sickness and in health, But I will say this, and I've said this before. I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I need for my spouse. You see me going out there exercising, I want you to lace your tennis shoes up. Now, those are the things I have to have in my significant other. I need you to be able to work out. I need you to be able to eat a piece of lettuce every once in a while. I don't talk about, I don't like salad or something. I need you to eat some vegetables. If you like it or not, I will make you, because I cook for my man. I'll make you the vegetables you like, but don't give me that, I don't eat that. I don't eat that, because what has going to happen is I'm doing my best to stay here, stay sexy, and stay active and all that. I don't want to be 70 and looking like I'm 50, and you 70 and I'm pushing you around because you had a horrible diet and you didn't want to put on those tennis shoes and exercise. So that is a requirement that I have. We got to be healthy together. Period.
Yeah, real quick off topic. We're good. You guys heard about Richard Williams's wife, Hyena, that lost that home in Florida. Right now, it's on the market right now in foreclosure on a sheriff's sale. Even though it's in disrepair and stuff, it's still listed at almost $2 million. But she did some, the guy has dementia, but she did some horrific stuff in regards to forging his name to get a quick payday loan thing. I mean, it's just horrific.
Is this the woman that's younger than him?
Yeah. This is the one that has been.
Period. End of story. That goes along with, and God is intellect. Thank you so much for that compliment. And I'm not saying it's right what she did, but, and excuse me, I'm freezing up my internet. I probably scared my internet when I said period like that. But y'all older dudes, I got to get me a young woman. She got the body tight and the body right. And I got to get me a young woman I could train and mold her and all that stuff. So what happened is, when you get you a younger woman and you might get dementia and she tricking off all your assets. Yes. So get you a woman that got some sense, that's going to protect you and your investments. God forbid you ain't here to do that, but you're going to get a young, silly woman who don't even know how to write a check, because there's people out here don't even know how to write checks. She don't even know how to do that. And then when you get sick, then she's like, I'm just gone and gonna continue buying me Louis bags. Forget paying the mortgage. Forget paying the taxes and all that. So, I feel sorry for him, but I don't know. It sounds like King Richard also, messed over a lot of good women too. So I don't know.
Yeah, very sad. So for brothers, that there's a tale for you right there in regards. I mean, you get these young girls, and now what I feel sorry for is if she's using all his resources. Think about the other children that won't have a legacy that he will leave behind, because she's wasting all of those resources, much less the attorneys that are involved that have to pay for all of this stuff. And just it's horrific. So if you guys haven't heard about that story, go look it up. I mean, I just saw it this morning and I was just like, what? So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with the story, but I take your word for it. Sorry that I froze up. And Joanne says, I've been never alone to Demetra school. Donovan, even in marriage, I was alone. Or Donovan, everyone don't need marriage the way you do and still be fulfilled. Yeah, some people are just like, it's not for me. I would love to be in another relationship. I've never said that I don't want to be. And how you doing?
Yeah, and remember, this show, we don't talk about, I hate when people keep saying that. You guys are smart enough to know we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about somebody. And all I'm saying is this: there is benefits to being married. There is. We, in general, as Black people, we don't tell our children some of the benefits about being married, but yet we have 70% of our women out here having babies. The father is nowhere to be seen in a lot of cases, and they're struggling. There is benefits to being married. You can't get the married tax credit if you ain't married. All the other groups are taking advantage of all the tax breaks they get from being married. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to get married. I'm just saying, if you're going to be acting like you're married, just go ahead and do it.
Hello, beautiful sunlight. It says, Demetra, 50 Shades of Grey is the best trilogy ever. Oh my God.
I have to be good right now because sunlight just popped on, so I got to be good now.
Right. That's right. We'll get you all the way together, brother. It's just soft porn. To me, it was like soft porn for white women. I guess, other people watched it too, but I'm like, I was actually on the way, I was moving from Chicago in 2012, and I caught the train back to California, and I had some time to think and read, and so I read that book. I didn't even get to, I think 200 pages. I was like, they could have kept this, but, it was, I guess it made a lot of money. I'm more of an intellectual reader. I like to read things that are more facts than fiction. Can't remember. I'm reading a book called, I've read it before, but it's called Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. And it's about a man who morphed into a cockroach. Very interesting. I had to read it in English class in college. And so I'm rereading that slowly but surely. All right. And so Mr. D. Robbie say, not at all. Texas isn't bad as California, but if people keep moving, it will get there. People are moving and buying multiple houses and renting out one or two. That's making housing costs go up. Yeah, I think they should kind of put some sort of a moratorium on that because they're pricing people out who simply want to rent or even just buy one house. But you have these investors who are just doing the most. So yes, indeed. And so Moni, he says, when you look at a lot of people pictures, they don't have no ass and no hips, but a lot of gut and work out in the gym. Thank God I don't have that problem, Demetra. Big round, but nothing flat. All right, now you are very lucky, girl. I got to go to the gym and do a sit up or run around the track or something. So you're very fortunate. Pioneer says, we talked about Asians and Latinos and how successful they are. Let's remember that white folks are bringing them here and allowing them to become successful. They can stop it if they want. Yes, so that is that's partially true. So I will agree with you on that. All right, so let me go into the bottom because I see I am belabored in these comments, and I will try to address somebody if I have not seen them. LGBT Hebrew Israelites transgender sex. That is the name. I don't think I'm making it up. How you doing? So this is a great show. Welcome to the chat. Interesting name, by the way. Call in and just haven't set up the ability. We tried that once. And it's weird. Nobody wanted to call in. Like we had one person call in. So this is when I was in California. It was in Donovan's studio. Donovan set up the phone line. We had one person call, and then no one else would call in. So maybe, I have my daughter help me set it up on this end. Donovan, I don't know if you have the ability to do it on your end, but I guess I should probably learn.
Yeah, I actually could do it. I just got to test it with you guys. So like if you guys can hear it from here, make sure you guys can hear it from over there. So if they call in here, you guys can hear it and then go over. But yeah, let's try it one day when we get some time. We'll have your mean daughter work the logistics with it.
Donovan's scared of my daughter. When Donovan and my daughter get together, they be going back and forth. And then they try to draw me in. I'm like, my name is Bennett. I ain't in it. But eventually I got to get in because I'm like, okay, y'all like the Loraxes. Is it the Loraxes or the Sneezers, one of them, where they weren't going to budge. And I'm like, okay. So I can get some relief. Let me just put my 2 cents in it. And usually that quiets things down until the next day or the next disagreement. Oh, okay, for real. Let me get to the bottom here. Let's see here. Somebody says Bishop Trick Daddy. Let's talk about Bishop Lamar Whitehead in the Bronx. And God is intellect. Says, I admire the men who still open the doors for women. I love seeing men open the car door for their women to come out and go in. Yes, indeed. That is what we call chivalry. And, as ladies that are very fortunate to have a man to do that for them, I know I always say thank you, even if it's somebody who I know or been around, whether it's my father, my brother, or a friend, they open the door for me. I say thank you, because I know a lot of times we as women just assume, you big brute, you should open the door for me. But you go
but can I ask you guys this? Why do you let these feminists speak up for the majority of you? Because like I said, that feminist group, that's a small group of women. And it seems to me, it's just my opinion, that they're running the narrative and you guys are just sitting there like being silent about it when that doesn't represent who you guys are, because feminism killed chivalry. In my opinion, it killed chivalry.
Well, I've always said I don't have a problem with a man doing anything for me at all. Open the doors. You can put my chair out. All of that. I love that. And that's why I said it's always my pleasure to do for my man. And, even my male friends, Donovan will tell you, we go on vacation. I don't have a problem cooking or whatever. Let's go to the store and get some. Cooking. I don't have a problem. I'm not like, shit, you crazy. We on vacation. I ain't cooking. I don't have a problem with it at all. So, like I was telling my one friend, he was stopping by Starbucks and he was getting him some tea because he was getting sick. And I said, this is the recipe to make that. It was a medicine ball. He was like, well, if I had a woman at home, he said every man ain't got a woman at home that could do that for him. I was like, okay. Until the meantime, do it for yourself. I don't know. All right, so let's see here. And Rain says, I want to be married. Yeah, it says a lot of women want to be married. And then Pammy said, exactly, Sister Demetra. And Let's see here. T.G. Hamilton says, when I try to tell younger cousins to consider marriage, the father of the marry the father of the kids, he says, I was told I'm ready to be a mom, but not married. I was like, yeah, no. That's backwards. And Brother Donnell says, exercise, eat right, indeed, take care of your health. You are your first doctor. Yes, indeed. And that's what I'll be trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And Sunlight says, at Demetra, 50 Shades is the ultimate love story. Now, yes, I mean, I've seen the movie where he's whisking her off in his private plane or helicopter to different cities for the night. Yes, but it's fantasy, right? Because maybe we'll be lucky to get a man that has his own company. He has his own airplane, helicopter, and, you know, bullet train and all of that. But chances are we probably not going to get with that man. So it's nice in theory to, you know, live vicariously through people on the silver screen. But yeah. Asha says a lot of these men aren't marriage material. See, now we was doing good. We was doing good. Also, Kurt, you love veggies? Okay. I mean, veggies is the way to go. Gotta eat your vegetables. And Rain says, Demetra, I read so much in nursing school that I stopped reading books. Yeah, some people are like, I'm just I'm done with reading. Yeah, I like to read. I like to learn a new thing. So I typically read books that are real, not nonfiction. And Curry says, I've been dealing with older women all my life. And how's that working out for you? Bruce Tracker says, being married takes self-introspection, work, commitment, and patience. I'm blessed. I'm married for almost 12 years. I've helped others get their preparation, dating, etc. So that's what I'm talking about. You need to write the blueprint. Tell the rest of us how you are succeeding. Check it says, go see the movie. Don't expect people to fund a movie we really want to see if we don't support Black film. Yes, indeed. And that's the other part of it. I mean, like, we can't say not to go see a movie and then we don't support the movies that we should go see. So it's kind of like, ugh. You know what I mean? And she says, Donovan, Reno makes more sense. What would be the reasons for Nevada? So did you answer that in the chat? Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. So we'll work on the call in. Hello, Brother Sean. How you doing? We'll work on the call in. But we gonna see how it goes. We gonna see. Dorothy, hello there. How are you? Oh my God, I got to the bottom. I cannot believe that. So anyway, we are right over the 2-hour mark. We are going to get out here, but I will read your comments as we get out of here. And Asha, let's put this up here. You say that part about your friend, you tried giving the recipe so he can do it himself. In the meantime, can also be an example of my point about not needing a man. He didn't need a woman to make some tea. I don't need a man to do certain things for me either. Yes. So I think if we're looking at it like that, yeah, we don't need people to do certain things, but damn, I want that. I want to be able to have a man and say, honey, could you do that? Even though I can do it like, Jill Scott has a song. Oh gosh. The name of the song escapes, but she says, I could kill the spider. But the truth is I need you and this, that, and the other. So she's like, I could do all that by myself, but I want you to do it.
I mean, think about this, ladies. Okay, you guys buy a house, right? Do you want to go out there and cut that grass, or would you rather take money and pay a Mexican or somebody to do it that has a shop? When the shingle falls off the house, and Demetra knows what I'm talking about. I see a lot of women that buy homes, right? But they don't have the finances to maintain the home. That's the most important thing. It's one thing if you can make the mortgage payment, but you got to be able to maintain the home. So when the hinge goes off, do you know how to go to Home Depot and say, I need this thing, or I got to replace a door, or I got to do those things? Do you really want to do those things? I don't think women should have to be put in a position to do those things unless that's what she wants to do. If she wants to do it, fine. But the majority of women, I don't believe want to do those things. It's hot out there in the desert here if you're trying to cut some grass.
And trust me, I know how to, y'all know how I ended up learning how to do the lawn. I had a boyfriend that wouldn't. I would ask him, could you cut my lawn? Oh, I'm going to get around to it. I didn't know how to work the lawnmower. I figured it out. And I was like, ooh. As I was mowing that grass, I said, now he gave me a reason not to have him stick around. You should have never let me learn how to cut the grass. I'm telling you, my lawn is, I don't do it out here in Texas because I don't like snakes and the grass and all of that. So I just, Terrence Wofford, who was great, black landscaper. He was here yesterday, as a matter of fact. Awesome, very awesome. I'm glad that he does my landscaping. But yeah, I learned how to do it because I had a man who wouldn't do it. So I've been, I can do it myself. I edge the lawn, the bushes, and the trees, all of that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I see some women that try to do it, and we appreciate your help, but you can tell you need a man. you can tell.
Listen, the lawn looks great.
No, for you. I'm talking about some of those women that think they can do it. You can tell the difference. You really can.
Oh yeah, yes. And I see some women in here. I see y'all comments are talking about some of the black men, but I would just say this to everybody. I think although we've all had personal experiences that have not been very good or whatever, let's not attach that to everybody, because again, we have not dated everybody, have not been in a relationship with everybody. We have not even talked to everybody. And so the experiences that we had, and I always say this, I actually got this from Donovan, and I agree with this 100%. In any relationship, we have to ask ourselves, what part did I play in it? Because it's rarely all one person, although it could be mostly on the other person. But we have to ask ourselves, did I see some red flags that I didn't, that I ignored? Did I, I don't know, not ask the right questions? Whatever the case is, or am I too mouthy? Am I negative? Am I combative? Am I unrealistic in what I want from my woman? Am I imposing demands on her that are unfair? So those are the questions I think we need to ask ourselves. What am I doing in a relationship that may cause somebody to not want to be with me? Because I've had to ask those questions of myself. And I just think this is for me. And I hate to speak this into the universe, but I think we also should be realistic. I know for me, I don't have a lot to say, like I'm mouthy, like, tell me what to do type of thing. I'm fairly intelligent. And so sometimes I think men find that to be, I don't know, they're intimidated, but I don't know what it is. I'm a very resourceful woman. And I think just for me, and I'm just being honest with y'all, for me, having to do a lot of things on my own, I have learned to I'll just go ahead and do it myself, right? I know how to do a lot of things around the house because I've just been put in that position to have to learn how to do it. Plus, my dad is a mechanic, and he's always said, God bless, my mom too, God bless the child as God his own. So I've learned how to do things. And so my mom used to always tell me, men like women who are kind of like damsels in distress. And if a man doesn't believe you need him to do anything, then eventually he'll probably go find a woman who is, I need you to put your coat on the puddle for me. I was the type of chick, I'll jump over the puddle.
Yeah. Or like, oh, honey, I need you to do this for me real quick. Like it's an emergency. But then what do men usually do? We got to hurry and get it done. Well, damn, baby, why didn't you tell me before? Let me go to Home Depot and go grab that real quick. And I got to get it done. We love to be needed.
Yes.
Because it's just our nature.
Yeah. So that's just me being honest. Sometimes I got that's okay. I'll jump over the puddle. Don't worry. Don't dirty your coat, but I'm learning now to say, well, we can wash that coat, or whatever. So I'm still learning too. So y'all, we love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. As always, it's our pleasure. Thank y'all for the channel members and those who want to become a member and you're still thinking about it. We love and appreciate you too. I thank y'all for who donate to the channel, and most definitely everybody for just being here, participating, having this conversation with y'all. This is not our show; it's your show as well. I keep saying that I'm going to try to go live, a couple of times or maybe one other time a week by myself. But Donovan is always welcome to join. Of course, you guys know we have Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. Walter is a riot, but he brings a lot of good information that we can learn how to do things better financially. And so we love and appreciate y'all. Y'all do have a great rest of your Sunday. Do something fun, but at the very least, relax. See y'all next week. Peace.